what's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. Let's get to this week's movie review. We will be discussing The Long Walk. Here's your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This movie is based on a 1979 novel of the same name, written by Stephen King under his pen name, Richard Bachman. And I did some further digging. This was actually the first book he ever wrote at 19. It wasn't the first book that he published, but he wrote this when he was 19, even though it came out later, which is kind of interesting. Under the pen name Richard Bachman, he wrote about 7 books, some of them including this one, The Running Man, Thinner. He used that pen name to write a lot of dystopian novels. Do you know why he used that pen name? I had to look this up. Does anybody know?
No.
He essentially wanted to write more than one book a year, and the publisher was like, you're going to dilute your audience. Let's just keep it to one. He wanted to write more. They didn't let him, and he's like, you know what? I just got to write under a different name. And then he was trying to figure out, is it my writing or is it my name brand that sells these books? Turns out it was the writing, because those Peter Bachman books were also sold pretty well. But I was wondering.
Didn't he have other pseudonyms or something? He was like John Switten.
Oh, I don't know about that one. Richard Bachman is the pseudonym.
And Beryl Evans as well.
Essentially, the man can write so much that he needed to come up with another identity just to put books out. Fucking crazy. I don't know how he writes so much. Anyways, Long Walk on the Rotten Tomatoes, currently sitting at an 89% tomato meter, 85% audience popcorn meter. This movie was made for $20 million. How does it do opening weekend? Well, let's take a look. This weekend's box office is kind of interesting. A couple of surprises. The number one opening movie this week is actually a movie that wasn't on any of our most anticipated lists from last week, but it was on our buddy listener Jose Ibarra's most anticipated list. He commented about it. It was Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, this anime, part 1 of a trilogy, makes $70 million domestic opening this weekend. And it already had some numbers coming in internationally. So it's at 386 global. It's considered its global debut, but it's the first part of a trilogy. That 70 million is the best opening ever for an anime film, beating Pokemon. That made 31 million in 1999. Best ever for Crunchyroll. Sony's biggest opening in 2 years, and the 6th biggest September opening of all time. That's crazy. More about that later from Jose Ibarra. So you got to ask, okay, so Long Walk must have opened at number 2, right? No. The Conjuring Last Rites in its second week opens at number 2. It is now sitting at $131 million domestic, $339 global. That movie only cost $55 million to make. It is a horror. They always hit. So, okay.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, and it is another hit for Warner Brothers, making that whole deal more attractive for David Ellison. All right, so you're like, okay, Long Walk's got to be number 3. You'd be wrong. It's Downton Abbey, a Downton Abbey movie, the grand finale, 18 million domestic opening. And then our Long Walk opens at number 4 with a soft 11.5.
So what you're saying is domestic. Anyone that's listening to the show probably hasn't seen the movie.
Correct, because it opened. I don't think anybody went to see this movie. Which is, a Stephen King adaptation usually pulls some numbers. So this one's a soft. Maybe Running Man will do better. There's another one coming out.
Before we go ahead. Sorry.
Well, just number 5 to close that top 5. Toy Story 30th anniversary re-release.
Before we get into the Long Walk, off the top of your head, and if you need me to read them, I can. Do you have a favorite Stephen King adaptation of in the movie?
Hell. I mean, this movie reminded me of Stand By Me, which
I think that's my favorite.
Let me list a few just to get your mind going.
Yeah.
Pet Sematary, It, Carrie, The Shining, Cujo, Children of the Corn, Stand By Me, Running Man, Misery, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, The Mist, Dark Tower, It, like I said. Those are some of the bigger ones.
I mean, The Shining. It's just
The Shining is definitely one of the best ones.
I do like Misery though, for your straight up kind of psychological horror. And then Shawshank. Come on,
I'd say Shawshank is probably the best one for me.
I'd say Shawshank, The Shining, and Stand By Me are probably my favorite ones. I'd watch more than once.
But I've read a lot of novels. I thought the It TV version was pretty good. I got to watch the new one. They're doing The Talisman, which is a fucking great sci-fi novel about this kid who goes into another world and he's got like a wolfman friend.
Wait a minute. Ruggs, no love for your boy Arnold?
Running Man?
The Running Man. I forgot that was a Stephen King thing.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Bachman.
And we're getting two of those movies this year.
You're going to abandon your boy Arnold in any sort of competition?
No, I'll throw that one in there.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Running Man's fun.
I like Carrie.
The new one might be fun. Carrie's good.
I like Carrie. I like, I don't know.
They're all going to laugh at you. I mean, there's iconic moments from all of his, books that have turned into movies. So just this guy's production, the way he can write so fast and you can read, it's crazy. I don't think he's a real person. Back to The Long Walk. This film, co-produced, directed by Francis Lawrence, we may know, director of Hunger Games, Constantine, I Am Legend, from a screenplay by J.T. Molnar, who gave us the wonderful Strange Darling last year. And I remembered his name and I was like, oh shit, I got to see what this fucking guy is up to in the future. The cast features a lot of fun people. Cooper Hoffman, the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, playing Ray Garrity. One of the leads, the other lead played by David Johnson, who we saw as the synth in Alien Romulus, playing Peter McVries. You got Ben Wang. You got the Karate Kid in here. You got an alien guy in here. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid, Ben Wang playing Hank Olsen. You got Mark Hamill playing the Major, Judy Greer playing Ray Garrity's mom. And then the other kids are played by people, Garrett Waring, it's Charlie Plummer, Joshua Ojic, Jordan Gonzalez. Up and comers. I didn't really know a lot of these people, but solid, promising young cast you have here with David Johnson and Ben Wang and Cooper Hoffman, I think. This movie is rated R. It's an hour and 48. Anthony, what happens in The Long Walk?
The Long Walk occurs in some sort of timeline where the U.S. is militarized and every year young men are voluntold. I don't know what the situation is. It was a little unclear.
Right.
In a raffle to do this walk. There's about, maybe 100. I don't know what the number is. 30, 100, somewhere in there.
One
50,
from every state.
50. And they all go on this walk. And the winner of the walk, there is no finish line. The winner of the walk is the last person standing, doesn't get their ticket punched. And they get a prize of basically whatever they want. The losers get shot. So it's walk or die. It's what's that movie that we reviewed from Japan?
Battle
Royale walking.
Well, really, this book is the book that inspired Hunger Games, Battle Royale, Squid Games, Black Mirror, any fucking dystopian kind of thing. This fucking Stephen King wrote it first. With that said, Anthony, what did you think of The Long Walk?
Yeah, this was one of my top 5 most anticipated movies. I saw 20 minutes of it at Comic-Con. I was pretty pumped to go and see it. Caught it at my local Alamo. And you can hear my instant reaction. I was a little bit mixed on it. I think I leaned towards liking it, but I was a bit mixed. As I've marinated on the movie a little bit longer, I think while it's entertaining, I think it's a pretty mediocre movie. I was a little bit disappointed. Maybe my expectations were a little too high. I think it's an entertaining watch, but I think it's kind of repetitive visually, even. Like, I understand it's just a walk. I do enjoy some of the characters and the relationships, but I felt like there was a lot of stories and side characters and stories and the way it ends. I think there's a lot of things that, for me, when I think a little bit more about it, they just don't really jive. Like, I feel my overall thought is the movie needed to be longer to flesh out some of the characters and some of the motivations and the villains, or the villain. And the ending's kind of weird, but then also it's very repetitive visually. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep watching. There's a lot of it's just them, a front shot of them walking.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's in the title.
I found it to be, as the more I think about it, the more I think it's just kind of a mediocre movie and a little bit disappointing. So curious what you guys think.
Interesting. Rugs, opening thoughts. How do you feel about the movie?
I was on the fence about watching this movie. I thought it could go either way. It could either be really brilliant or it could be a snooze fest. And it's somewhere in the middle. I'll tell you the most memorable thing about this movie is people take shits while they're walking. And if it wasn't for that, shitting and walking and people getting their brains blown out while they were shitting, there'd be nothing to talk about in this movie. Because there's really, I mean, there is some like very well done gore and there's very well done people getting like heads blown off and stuff like that. Yeah. So they don't do it nothing's done in a really terrible way. I just think this story, if you want to tell it, I don't even know if Stephen King's book gets into it at all. Probably doesn't. But you have this thing that everybody in the world is supposedly watching, but it doesn't feel like anybody's watching.
No, it didn't.
It doesn't feel like there's anything to it. So at least when you watch like the Hunger Games or Battle Royale,
there's a crowd there.
You can feel like you at least get the world that they live in and what's going on and the stakes of it and how people either need to watch this to kind of have a release or something, but you don't get anything. It's just naked. It's like these people, they did it out of trying to just keep it super, super simple. But that simplicity only works if you have something really good with the characters. And I think that they tried to get there, but they never really did with the characters. So it just doesn't work.
What's a better title for this movie?
Street Shitters.
That's right. Street Shitters.
It's a Street Shitter. If it was called Street Shitters, then it would have been better. Like, I thought at some point, because this is what's going on. And I always do this because I always just sit there and go, practically, there's things that you can do, right? So, number one, you have 100 guys, 50 guys, right?
50 guys, yeah.
You got 4 people that are maintaining this with guns. Yeah. You could easily overrun them.
Oh, they could have sworn
in a second. Fuckers. Like maybe a couple of them would die, but then most of them would live. And then they could walk and fucking win. I don't know.
The one guy tries, right? But then he shoots one guy and he stops. I'm like, why just stop shooting? Shoot the rest of them.
I think that would have been interesting if there was like some like a silent coup going on and they had a plan or something. But like nothing was going on really. There's nothing really. There was just like the only big thing was, and I knew the minute that the guy told the other guy that he wanted to blow, that guy was going to die and the other guy was going to do it. I just knew it.
Really? You called it? We'll get to that. Yeah. The ending is interesting. We'll get to that. It's a changed ending from the book.
Right. It was just telegraphed a little bit too much. And I would have like maybe thinking, okay, those 2 guys are going to win, and then someone else completely you don't expect to wins for a weird reason. Yeah. That would have been fun. But like kind of like the 2 that you're following, one of them was going to win, you know? Yeah. So it's like they didn't really, there wasn't anything in it for me. I was bored. I checked my watch a lot. But, you know, the shitting in the street, that was good.
I mean, that was the part of the movie that I didn't even think about. How do you piss and shit while you're doing
Well, that's the only part. Show you. That's the only time I just sat up and go, well, I've never seen that before.
That's different. So here's what I thought. It was also on my top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year list from last week. And I did walk away maybe slightly disappointed. Now, I did think the first half I really enjoyed. It found it very haunting, harrowing, tense, brutal, graphic. You know, when they shoot the kids, they don't fucking cut away like you expect them to. You fucking see it. It is bleak, depressing dystopia. I like bleak, depressing dystopia shit a lot, so I was digging it. But the back half it gets a little tedious. It does get a little boring. And I felt like I did enjoy the dynamics of the kids and, you know, some of their conversations they were trying. It kind of reminded me of like your Stand By Me where the kids are having stupid kid conversations. They were trying to get to that, but I don't know if it quite got there. I thought Mark Hamill was kind of miscast. He's just a little too cartoony.
Yeah.
I just wish they had someone like you with that same material. You can have someone just play it a lot scarier, meaner. With just a different delivery. Look, Mark Hamill's great, right? He's great as Luke Skywalker. He is great as Joker. And I think that's about it. And then he could play himself. that's about the range of Mark Hamill. I thought the kids were great. Ben Wang was hilarious. Hank Olsen. And then the movie does constantly make you, it made me think about, could I do this? What would I do in this situation?
Yeah, but another thing is that they were going way too long. There's no way that they would have made it that long. There's no fucking
the
way.
walk does end up going, what, at the end? It's like 6 days, 300 something miles.
Yeah.
6
There's
days.
no way. You couldn't, without sleep.
No, but they're sleeping and walking also, which I was like, okay, that's a
that's
bit of
not
a stretch.
thing.
A little bit of stretch.
No.
I thought the script does do a good job of teasing hope every now and then snatching it away. And I thought as the movie went on, you got to know the kids more, that's hit a little bit harder. Like when Hank died, dude, I was like, no, not fucking Hank. That was tragic and kind of crazy because you love that character. But I think at the end of the day, it was just okay. It was entertaining. It's just okay.
Yeah.
But Ruggs, to your point, let's talk about the setting, which it is fascinating. Anthony, what is your read on the setting? Because I feel like it's
the setting. You want to talk about the setting?
Yeah. It's an alternate dystopian past.
Yeah, it's literally the past, right?
Yeah.
It's sometime in the past, although not sure when.
Well, they're broadcasting. That doesn't from a mobile unit. That doesn't. That doesn't
do that in the Viet. Like he wrote this book while the Vietnam War was going on, so I feel like this is the setting. It's an alternate universe of maybe we lost all these wars. Because on the radio in the beginning, you hear the guy go, "It's the 19th anniversary of the war that tore the country apart," or something. And there's that letter. But I do agree with you, Ruggs. I wanted to know more about this world. And for something that's everyone's watching, you don't see fucking anybody anywhere. I was like, who the fuck's watching? Like his mom is just on the street by herself. Like
even when they get into the city,
there's
weird. People. There's like hardly any people. They have like 3 extras in there.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, it underwhelmed me.
And I don't think they did a good enough job. Although, like, you get an understanding of the prize, sort of. I don't think they do a very good job of explaining like why all these kids are all that enthusiastic about doing this. Are they so down? Like, I would love to have seen what's motivating, because all these kids, I mean, they're all walking to their death, basically.
Right. They know what's going to happen.
All of them are starting it so enthusiastically. I would have loved to get an understanding of like, okay, how bad is it that these kids are getting involved in this, and how bad, and then maybe you build on, look how bad it is, like how bad the government keeps them down. And then you could have the villain, Mark Hamill, be more villainous. I thought they tried to do it with the flashback, but I don't know. It just didn't really work for me.
Yeah, they tease a lot of things.
While you're talking about teasing things, that brings up a point for me.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the ending later because I want to talk about that. But I think the movie kind of is the script is a little odd, I'd say, because you get these different things. So like I wrote down, you have the dude writing the book about the long walk,
right? Harkins, but he's the one who's
that doesn't really lead to anything. So why is that a thing?
It's interesting that this one kid has decided to write a book. That's it.
But that's his defining thing, and then it doesn't really lead to anything. Like you would have thought, maybe this is maybe they take it up the mantle and they're going to continue writing the book for him because it's so important, because it needs to get established, because no one understands
what it's like.
This walk is how terrible it is.
And you can't write and walk at the same time. It should have been a tape recorder.
Right. Oh. Yeah, that's a good point too. But then also these other things. So you have like the bully who's like a really bad guy, or like kind of bullying this one kid that gets killed.
Rank, Gary Barkovich and Rank.
Suddenly flips and then like kills himself. And it's just like, okay, this guy's just acting different in every scene. And I don't understand what he's acting.
Well, no, but they were teasing him the whole time, calling him killer and murderer. And then, he wants to just be accepted. And the minute he's freaking out over he feels bad about getting Rank killed, which was crazy. And then he just stabs himself.
Yeah, it was way too crazy.
Then what about Hank had a wife? Like, what was the point of telling us that he was the one married one? Ben Wang, Hank Olsen.
Oh, right. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. The one
he's that wants 10 naked ladies.
Yeah, that's funny. I want 10 naked ladies.
He was funny.
It was hilarious.
I thought he was funny. I thought he was a good character. The one that boggles my mind the most, though, is the reveal of the dude with the muscles being Mark Hamill's character's son.
Yeah, so Stebbins
what is that? Like that,
one of the
that
last
reveal
three.
falls so flat. It has nothing to do with anything.
He is the bastard son of the Major. So
I don't know. It didn't like. I guess they're trying to get at the fact that this is how evil this guy is, but you don't even see Mark acknowledge him or the
Does he
Major.
even
It's just a random reveal.
It was unclear if the Major even knew that was his son.
So it just felt like all these storylines that they had could have been fleshed out more, and maybe I'd be more enamored with the walk.
Yeah,
but they just wrote things, and they didn't really. I don't feel like the payoff to a lot of those things really did anything.
Could have used a little more meat, essentially, on the bone.
Especially because the movie's so repetitive to look at.
I think the worst thing you can do when you go to a movie is be bored.
So they could have broken up the walk with like flashbacks of the kids.
Right.
So then maybe you learn some more about them.
That's what I thought.
Cutting to people watching them, talking about them.
Yeah, or
seeing a little bit of the world that they live in.
Seeing the families cut to them and seeing how they're handling them being on the walk.
Like at least even them just watching the TV and they're watching their kids.
This movie cost $20 million. They could have done a lot with that money.
Well, here's another thing. I thought it was just me, and maybe because I was bored and not paying attention at times, but then I saw some feedback online that confirmed it. But the sound mixing was weird because there were a lot of times when they would start conversations and I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying.
I will agree that some of the dialogue was hard to understand. I absolutely.
So that took me out of the movie too, because I'm like, what are they talking about? I can't even hear what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Some of it was very muddy, and I was like, what? What did he just say?
And I couldn't tell where people were. Like, are they in the front? Like, when the guy started shitting on the fucking street, I'm like, are they behind him or they're in front of him?
Well, look, let's go over the exact rules because I think the rules are fascinating in this. It's a great premise, right? So 50 boys, and they're given water and rations. So at any time on this walk, you can ask for a canteen of water. But like I said, they have to walk along this route with soldiers, and they got to maintain 3 miles per hour. And if you drop, you get a warning, and you get 3 warnings. And after the third warning, you get what he calls you ticket punched, meaning shot in the head. But the warnings can be erased with an hour of clean walking. And yes, there's no finish line. Last one alive gets a cash prize and whatever they wish. So there's the matter of the lead's wishes that goes into the end, because when we learn about Ray in his flashback is that his dad went up against the regime or whatever, and the Major shot him in front of him. And so Ray is going to wish for the gun that soldier has so he can just shoot the Major right there when he wins.
Right.
And McFreeze just, what did he want? Oh, he wanted to like use the money to help kids or something.
He wanted to help people or be an inspiration.
And then Stebbins wanted to win because he's the bastard kid and wants to go be accepted in his home. Having Stebbins at the end will tie into the book's ending, I think, is that's why they kind of threw that in, because it changes it a little bit. But I thought the rules were solid, makes a lot of sense. And I'm just like, when that fucking incline hill hit, I was like, oh, we fucked. They took out a lot of guys.
Yeah.
A lot of kids didn't make it up the hill.
I just think with the rules that they have that you can't stop it all.
Yeah.
And
how do you shit?
And you can't sleep, that this thing would be over in 48 hours, maybe 30 hours.
How are they sleeping, Izzy? But like,
they would, and none of these people were like a lot of these people weren't in great shape. So
true. In fact, the lead guy is he's a little poor.
They weren't wearing like running shoes. They were wearing boots. Like there was no way.
Yeah, but okay,
that this
to
movie
Anthony's
even
point,
takes place.
the reason these kids are doing this is even though it's volunteer, they have that conversation where they're like, it's kind of not. It's kind of like a draft. You don't have any other choice. You have to. Like, it's just assumed, it's accepted. There's nothing better because this is how bad this world is.
I get that, but then why are they so all like gung ho about doing it?
I don't know. And they're all like, let's make friends in the beginning. When
it's just a weird
opponents.
The way they set it up is very confusing because they're all so happy to be there. It's almost like the premise is they don't know they're going to die. But it's clear to me by very early on in the movie that they all knew they were going to die. So I don't understand the enthusiasm all of them have.
If this thing's been broadcasted on TV every time, like everybody knows the drill.
It's just very incongruent to what you would think they would be expecting or how they'd be really feeling about doing this.
It really must be just like so bad that you just.
I think there's better movies like this.
Yeah.
So,
better versions of this.
The other thing too is, can we get into the ending?
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the ending. What happens, Anthony? Take us through the ending.
The ending is down to the two guys, Cooper Hoffman's Ray and Peter. And Peter this whole time has been like, you got to use the money to do good, right? You got to do good or something like along those lines. And Ray finally comes around to, okay, maybe I'll consider doing that instead of killing this guy. And then Peter starts to stop and basically give the win to Ray. For what reason, I don't. Maybe to like, he believes that Ray will do some good and get over the fact that like not choose vengeance. But
His
Ray
wish is revenge, yeah.
Right, but Ray then decides to keep Peter going because Peter kept him going throughout, and then Ray stands back and gets shot.
Peter early on did say, at some point when I'm done, I'm just going to sit down and stop. And I think that's why he did it.
Oh, okay, sure. So then Peter is the winner. Ray sacrifices his life for Peter. Peter then wishes for the gun and kills the Major, doing what Ray had said he was going to do with the gun. And basically the movie ends on a very like bleak note, which was already a bleak movie. I guess
shoots the Major.
I guess the thought here is that this walk was they'd seen so much shit that it just made them all dark and
fucks you up.
Yeah, it fucked them up. I just that ending didn't like work.
So
for me.
what was the part that what was weird was when he does get the gun and he pulls it up and there's nobody, none of the soldiers raised their gun at him. If there was a crowd, nobody's rushing him. And then when he shoots the Major, it's very quiet. It's raining. Nobody comes up to get him. And I was like, is this real? Is this in his head? Is he already dead? And then he just turns and continues to walk. Nobody's rushing him. You would think the guards instantly would shoot him.
See, that all logically makes sense, and I see what you're going at. To me, that is beside the point. I just don't think that thematically the movie was building towards that.
Because we think it was setting us up for Ray to win.
It was setting us up for Ray to win to
kill
then turn not to kill the Major, to actually do some good and get in. But instead, it felt to me, I don't know what the ending is of the book. It felt to me like a swerve for the sake of being a swerve.
Interesting. Ruggs, what's your take on the ending?
I don't like it. I don't like the fact. I mean, it's one thing that I called it when they were talking, and I'm like, oh, this guy's going to end up not being able to kill the guy, and then the other guy's going to do it because they made a friend and they're bonded, and now he's going to be obsessed with making his friend's last wish come true. So I called that while I was watching it, but then after he kills the Major, it just stops. Yeah. So it's like you don't even get the resolve of either him getting killed, him not getting killed, and he gets the money. Like I don't know what happens.
What happens after? Look, when Peter raised the gun and he goes, "This is for Ray," and shoots him, I thought that was kind of satisfying based on what was
really.
But
no, I don't agree. I don't agree. Why? Wait. Stop. Pause real quick. Ray sacrifices his life so Peter can do some good.
And Peter instead goes,
Ray doesn't sacrifice his life. Like, I don't get the vibe at all that Ray sacrificed his life so that Peter can kill the Major. I think the vibe I got that was built throughout was Ray sacrifices his life because Peter's such a good guy that he will do the right thing with the money, whereas Ray would have been selfish with it. So then you to be like, for the movie to end with Peter doing that, I don't think Peter's doing it's not building towards Peter accomplishing Ray's mission. That's not what that character wanted for Peter. I saw it make sense to me.
I saw it as like a friendship thing. Like, I'm going to carry out his wishes because he did kill his father. And
why does Ray sacrifice himself for Peter?
That's a good question.
Did he go in and go? Are they building throughout the movie towards Ray being like, you need to do this for me to avenge my father?
No.
That's never said. That's never stated. That's never even implied.
It's not earned enough.
So it's out of character for Peter McFreeze to do his
Yeah, that's a good. The way Rugg said it, it's not earned, in my opinion.
Like, you can't just do it without it actually meaning something. Like, it would have been, but that's the thing. When I heard them talking about it, I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen, because they not because it's what should happen, because I know how they write things.
Yeah.
And it seems like a very hacky way to write something. And I don't even know if this is Stephen King's actual ending. I don't know what the ending is.
Okay, here we go. We spoil the movie. We're going to spoil the book now.
Spoiler alert.
Because I'm sure it's a good book. I've heard it's a good book. I've heard that there's more character stuff in the book.
Much more in depth, the book.
Yes, more in depth, because it's a book, right? Apparently they combined some characters, which is a normal thing you do when you're adapting a book. A couple of the major differences in the book, there's 100 dudes walking. We cut it down to 50. And in the book, they walk at 4 miles an hour, which seems a little bit quick. So they just slowed it down to 3 miles an hour. But the big difference is the end. Now, in the book, apparently, Ray's motivations are a little bit different. I believe he doesn't even really want to kill the general. He kind of is in it for the money. So the last 3 remaining in the book are Stebbins, Ray, and Peter, except Peter goes out first. He just sits down, gets his ticket punched. So Stebbins and Ray are left.
Yeah.
And then I think Stebbins dies and Ray wins. Okay. But he doesn't ask for the gun. And the book also has a weird, ambiguous ending. Stebbins dies. Ray wins. He sees this shadowy figure up ahead, and he just continues walking, thinking the walk is still happening, and that's another contestant. He's delirious. He just keeps walking off towards the shadowy figure. And that's how the fucking book ends, I believe. I don't know.
That's a little bit more
makes more sense, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it's equally cryptic. I think it's more, it makes more sense than it makes more sense than this.
So JT Molnar took a big swing, and they changed the ending.
But basically, the end of the book, he's so delirious and out of it from walking that he just keeps walking. He doesn't even know that he's won the walk.
Yup. Exactly.
What do you think of that, Ruggs?
I don't like it. Floppy
You don't like that one either.
He doesn't like any of it.
However, Stephen King has been known, a lot of people criticize some of his endings aren't the greatest. It is hard, even for a master like Stephen King, it's hard to end things, sometimes. So you just kind of leave it ambiguous and leave it out there.
I would have thought of a much more brilliant ending. So,
well, here's I'll say a couple good things. I liked the 4 main guys.
Yeah.
I thought there was some decent Stand By Me vibes with the conversations they're having.
Right.
And I liked Ben Wang a lot. I liked Peter the Johnson character, David Johnson.
Yes.
So I thought those characters were good. And I thought the movie did a decent job of making me. So I didn't know what kind of tone it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the movie did a decent job of bringing some dread, especially when dude is walking with his ankle turned.
That was
God. So some of the stuff, there was some imagery where I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable and giving me like oh, fuck, I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah, I will agree. The graphic shots to the head, that tank driving over that kid's legs, like there was some fucked up things.
Or I think dude walking with a bloody nose and
yes, and he keeps, and then it won't stop, and then he's like, "I'm out."
And this guy's shitting,
and the guy with the runs. So the shitting was interesting because he's like pinch it off already. If you're quick about it and don't get nervous, you could do it. But if you got the fucking runs, you're done.
See, I would have worn assless chaps to that thing,
this
and
is
that
the
would have been
costume to wear.
Easy shits, no problem.
Here's where you stick yourself in that situation.
Yes.
No, it's not the walking. It's how long can you walk with mud butt?
Yeah.
You just have to be okay with shit.
I mean, all I
dripping
think
down
about is
your legs.
shitting. So it's like, that would be the first thing
I would tell you personally, I wouldn't have fucking made it very far in this if I had to, if I'm being honest.
I mean, the fact that walking with an itchy ass, I mean, that's
horrible.
Well, look, the reality is that these guys, they look like they were fine in like they were walking in this movie like a week.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It is weird.
And they were like, they were just like walking. I'm like, you would not be able to walk. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to.
They're giving him food and water though.
Yeah, but the way Ben Wang was walking, the way all of them should be walking.
Yes, that was great. He was catatonic. He's like on autopilot. His head hung over. He's not even there. And then when he decides to just attack.
Well, to Ruggs' point too, this is where I'm thinking about like some of the inconsistencies. Is the main character Ray Cooper Hoffman?
Yeah.
At a couple points has like serious cramps or like knee problems or something.
Yeah.
And then walks it off. And it's just like, I don't think that you're not going to walk it off. Like you're just keep fucking it up by walking.
If you get a Charlie horse, can you walk that off sometimes? The one I thought
there's a lot of inconsistency with how they like portray the character from scene to scene.
So the first kid who he stopped because he had a rock in his shoe and had took 3 warnings, and I was like, yeah, that was. I was like, that's kind of worth it because walking with a rock in your shoe is going to be uncomfortable. And then I thought it was clever. The other guy, Stebbins, takes an early warning just to kind of test it out, see what he can get away with. So look, there was some clever shit, and I think David Johnson stand out. Keep an eye on this guy. Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid. I think he's got a lot of promise too. I thought their chemistry and their friendship was fun. And I like when they were like, we're the 3 Musketeers. And then the guy in the back comes, me too. And they're like, no, not you. They push him back. It's funny. Yes. And then I like bleak dystopia, right? I thought it did bleak, depressing. Like you can't watch this movie.
No, it's not a feel-good movie.
Second time, right? But sometimes I like movies that make you go, oh,
very washed out color palettes, a lot of green, brown.
All right. Well, final thoughts, Anthony. Give me a numbers. What do you think?
Yeah, we've dissected this movie, so you heard a lot of my thoughts. But overall, I found it to be a disappointing movie with an interesting concept that was at times visually just very repetitive. Maybe that's just a function of the story, but I think the way they lay out the story makes it more repetitive. And then, there's a lot of things that I just didn't think made any sense, especially the ending. So, when you don't land the ending like that, in my opinion, that really, hurts the movie. So initially when I came out of the theater, I was like, this is like a 6. And now I really think it's an average movie. I'm just going to go right with a 5. I think it's just a very, very mediocre movie that had a very interesting premise, a lot of promise, material from one of the great writers of all time.
Yeah.
Decent cast, but didn't coalesce into a movie where I felt much emotion towards what I was watching.
Okay. Ruggs?
Yeah, I'm kind of going, I want to say 5, but I'm probably going to go 4.75.
Oh, below a movie.
Yeah, because it's boring. I was bored. It's a short movie, and I was bored on a short movie. Never good.
No.
Never good. I don't think it was a horrible movie. There was good acting. It just failed to do what it should do. It failed to be interesting, and it failed to kind of hold my attention and want more. I want more of this unit. I at the end of the day, I got out of there. I was like, I just sat through that, and that was it. That's all my reaction was.
Okay. I was again slightly disappointed. I did enjoy the first half and the setting up of characters and seeing everybody get shot. And while it does have the bleak, the dread, the dystopia that I love, premise had potential. Perhaps it did not live up to the potential. I'll give it a 6.
I found it interesting that what we're saying is not the aggregate for the internet. Like most of the internet's like, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's 89, 85 here.
I think on Letterboxd it's like a 3.6, which means it's a decent, solidly reviewed movie.
The tomato meter was higher initially. It was like 90 something. It settled down to 89. So,
well, for me, it's like, okay, there's good things in this movie to like. I think if you're into the things, if you're tuned into those things, and you could forget about all the other things, I think you might like this movie.
Yes.
Because it does scratch certain itches. But for me, I found it to be too inconsistent. I found it to be too boring. And I found that it wasn't fleshed out enough. There's a lot of missing stuff here. There's not enough meat on the bone here. So,
yeah, that's what we said earlier. But I don't know. I kind of liked the good stuff a little bit. Just wish it was a little better.
Yeah, I don't think it's a complete trash fire, but
no, it's just okay. And there's good qualities. Now we will see how Edgar Wright and company translate The Running Man in about a month or so. Right? Remember? So it's just crazy. He's got 2 Richard Bachman books being made into movies this year.